Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Dickies, quality workwear since 1922. Yamaha, rev your heart.
We're at the farthest point south on the salt water in Canada that you can get at Cape Sable Island, Nova Scotia. We're just a stone's throw from Barrington, Nova Scotia, where they're hosting the 3rd annual Nova Scotia Lumberjack Championships. Hi, I'm Rod Cumberland, and today on Lumberjacks, we're going to be covering the axe throw, the butcher block, and the endurance race. Endurance race is a little bit different twist to it. It has Lumberjacks doing 4 contests back-to-back without taking a breather.
We are expecting a spectacular weekend here in Barrington, Nova Scotia for the 3rd annual Lumberjack Championships. Barrington is also referred to as the lobster capital of Canada, where there are an ocean of opportunities. Hi, I'm Bill Debo with my co-host and Lumberjack sport analyst Dave Johns. And Dave, last week we had a fantastic start to the competition.
We did, Bill. We had a lot of excellent chopping, sawing, and even some log rolling last week. This week, we're going to get into some underhand chopping. But last week's events led to right now Nathan Cumberland having a 50-point lead over Berlin Nickerson. But notable mentions here, Connor Morse, the rookie champion, in the top 5 right now, Bill. This is going to be an excellent day of lumberjack competition.
Also notable on that scoreboard was Marcel Scott, who actually came for the Berlin competition. He won it, garnering him 100 points in the overall standings. This first heat of 4 in the underhand chop, Graham Green taking on one of the show organizers here, Berlin Nickerson.
Yeah, Berlin Nickerson, 1-1 to open it up on this octagonal log. Berlin actually milled this stuff using these Echo 600 chainsaws. Octagonal shape, making sure all the logs are nice and even for this, Bill.
And Nickerson makes his turn over the backside. He also opens up with a 1-1 on the backside. Graham Green, 3 or 4 strokes behind him.
Yeah, looks like the lobster fisherman over there on stand 1, going for the drivers, and wow, what a cut for Berlin Nickerson.
Okay, so Berlin, most guys open an underhand chop with a 2 on one side. I see you went a 1-1. Tell us your strategy.
Well, the octagonal wood threw me for a loop, I guess. So it just, in my mind, made sense to open it 1-1 with the small square front in front of you. Don't know if that was the right thing to do or not.
Well, good time. Good job.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Well, looking at the outcome, it looks like it was the right thing to do. It's not often that you see this octagonal-shaped wood presented before you in an underhand chop. This next heat, Mario Bork taking on Nick Graham.
Yes, Super Mario Bork over here. He's got an impressively fast cadence. Look at him dismantling this octagonal log.
Nick Graham, a graduate from Nova Scotia Agricultural College. Mario Bork makes his turn over to the backside ahead of Nick Graham.
Yeah, both these guys going blow for blow right now. Clock is ticking away, though. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch up with Berlin.
They're not going to get the 24-22 set in the first heat by Nickerson. Both guys are on their backside trying to chip things out. Mario looks like he's wooded himself a little bit. No more space to chip things out. And Mario's driving things off. He comes off with a 38.01.
Yeah, and there is Nick Graham just a couple of strokes behind.
So Mario, octagonal wood. Tell me what it was like to chop it.
Yeah, it's a bit different. Try to figure out where your center of your log and stuff is and how the chips come out. But I think I got a bit greedy on the front, paid for it on the back. But other than that, I think it was all right.
You know, Dave, you often hear about competitors talking about not doing their work in the front. You said he got a little bit greedy in the front. What does that mean?
I think he turned a little bit early there, Bill. Didn't quite take out enough of that bottom wood, and you see him kind of pinch it off a little early in the back. Well, if you've got a lot of bottom wood in that front side, it is going to be devastating for your time in that log.
This next heat is the 3rd heat. Trevor Scofield taking on Marcel Dupree. First time we've seen Trevor here this weekend. He's got a feverish pace. Marcel makes his turn over the backside ahead of Trevor.
Yeah, you see the firefighter there on stand 1, sponsored by Pump House Brewing. He is just leaning into that log right now, keeping the weight to it, going for the driver. A little bit stubborn in the bottom, but there it is. Wow, what a cut for Marcel.
Puts him in 2nd place with 1 heat to go.
Okay, Marcel, I watched your chop. You went pretty well. I see you threw a few extra drivers in the bottom. What was going on there?
Yeah, I kind of wooded myself out right at the start, so I said, I'm going to try to put a few drivers in to try to go as deep as I can in the front. It kind of worked out at the end, not too bad.
Still the time to beat 24-2-2 set by Berlin Nickerson way back in the first heat. Here is the battle of the Cumberlands. Older brother Ben taking on younger brother Nathan, the two boys from Keswick Ridge, New Brunswick.
Yeah, a couple of the baddest men on the planet with an axe in their hand right now, taking on these octagonal logs. Going to be cool to see how they dismantle it. They both go with a 2-2, almost to the center of this block already, Bill.
Nathan Cumberland showing some muscle, makes a spin over to the backside, pounding away on that octagonal-shaped block. He's ready to chip out and put some drivers in.
Yeah, both these guys going for the drivers now. It'll be Nathan. Nathan Cumberland takes the heat with a 17.7-second cut.
Snake, last heat, Nat, tell us what advantage it is to watch the guys go ahead of you. Did you change anything about your chop?
Usually if you watch the other guys go, sometimes it'll give you a bit more of an idea as to what to do for hits. I didn't see a lot of heats before me, but I watched a bit of one of them and I figured that 10 hits would be enough in the front.
Well, Nathan Cumberland annihilating the field by 7 seconds in the underhand chop here at the Nova Scotia Lumberjack Championships.
We're a local business here in Yarmouth County, and we're very proud to support local community in 3 or 4 counties around here. And we're really excited to be the elite sponsor for the Nova Scotia Lumberjack Championships. And we hope everybody enjoys themselves. And we're really cheering on our local guys here.
Now, yesterday we had all the preliminaries for all the competitors in the axe throw competition. We're going to be bringing you the top 4 competitors in the finals of the axe throw competition, starting with Marcel Dupree. The scoring here is a 5-4, 3-2-1 on the axe target. Marcel going first and a first throw total of 5 points. Hitting a bullseye is always good for the confidence in the first throw.
Absolutely. Well, they have one practice before that first throw. So I don't know what his first practice was, but a 5, and then it looks like a solid, oh no, the judge is only going to give him a 3. It dipped a little bit low on that one. Disappointing second throw there for Marcel.
Definitely disappointed to only have 8 points after 2 throws for Marcel as he head into the third throw, and he drifts a little bit high on that one. Looks like scoring only another 3 points, giving him a 3-throw total of 11. What goes wrong with Marcel here? After a first throw bullseye, he seems to go south with a couple of 3s.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it got away from him there, maybe got into his own head. Axe throwing is such a mental game, and he's got a different kind of throwing technique that a lot of axemen have. He has that over-the-shoulder technique. It's not wrong if you can hit the target, but on that one, it looked like he was just a little off-center.
Doug Armsworthy is our next thrower, and Doug Armsworthy looks like he's got himself a 4 there. The judge can have a look at it. He's giving him a bullseye. I guess part of the steel of the axe head may have creased that red bullseye for a first throw total of 1 point. Again, another confidence booster. Let's see if Doug can capitalize on that. No, he does not. Drifts up way high for that blue ring, which is only 2 points.
Yeah, he's now got a 2-throw score of only 7 points. He still could potentially take the lead here with a bullseye. Oh, close. Only a 4, though. That'll be good enough to tie Marcel currently for the lead with 11.
Well, we got 2 throwers down, 2 more still to come. The 11 points is not likely to hold up. Doug Armsworthy starts strong with just creasing the bullseye there and getting 5 points on his first throw, but then he drifts up high for that blue ring and only 2 points in his second throw, ending up with a 3-throw total of 11, tying him with Marcel. We still have Paul Woodland to go, but next up is going to be Nick Graham.
Yeah, Nick Graham qualifying here, looking to try to best those previous scores of 11. Here comes the first throw. Oh, no! Trouble in paradise for Nick Graham. Axe kind of came in sideways on that one, deflecting out of the target. He's got a smile on his face, though, like, oh, come on, man, what was that?
He didn't seem to take a whole lot of time preparing for that first throw, but look at the second throw. He nails it with a bullseye. Now he's got a 2-throw total of 5, but another bullseye is only going to get him 10. It's going to put him in third place if he gets a bullseye here.
Yeah, he lined up and the pitch. Oh, no! Trouble again for Nick Graham. 3-score total of 5. That's not going to do it here in this elite field of axe throwers.
It looks like his axe head is turning a little bit. I think he's got the right rotation, but he's not just getting the blade at the target at the right time. There he nails it. Let's see what happens on his third throw here. It appears that the axe is just not sticking because the blade is turning and falls to the ground. Nick Graham has got to be disappointed with that.
All right, up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Paul Woodland. Up next here, first throw coming up. Wow, What a throw, bullseye on his first one.
Well, you know, Dave, I think that Paul Woodland is just licking his chops right now. He's stepping up as the last thrower in this competition. He sees a couple of 11s in front of him. He's probably loose as a goose, throwing his axe at the target here. And look at that, right down memory lane there with another bullseye. 2-throw total of 10. All he's got to do is hit the target coming up here.
Yeah, too cool for school right now. Paul Woodland, he's got it dialed in. Ooh, looks a little low. He was chasing perfection. We're going to have to leave it to the judge on this one, Bill, and see if he got this one. The judge is prying it out. There it is. The nod goes. Perfect score for Woodland.
So, Paul, we always talking about the advantage of watching guys chop first. Is there any advantage at all to watching a guy axe throw first?
Well, there is to know what his score is and know what you got to do.
So when you throw a bullseye for the first throw, it didn't seem to rattle the other guys. 2 other guys threw bullseyes in the first throw, it seemed to rattle them. Didn't seem to rattle you. What's the difference?
I've got a lot of years into this game. Yeah, if you throw the bullseye, you know we're lined up perfect. Everything's right on.
Right on.
Well, we're almost halfway through the competition here at the Nova Scotia Lumberjack Championships, and Paul Woodland starts to make a little bit of noise, gaining 100 points in the axe throw. Here we are back in Barrington, Nova Scotia for the 3rd annual Nova Scotia Lumberjack Championships. Barrington is the lobster capital of Canada, located in the southwest corner of Nova Scotia. We are heading into the men's butcher block. We have a couple of teams in the first heat. We got Nathan Cumberland and Donald Lambert taking on older brother Ben Cumberland and Connor Morse.
Yeah, in this event, folks, you cannot have more than 10 swings per partner in this pair event. So opening this up right now, you hear the counters in the background, counting down how many swings they've had, and then their partners will jump on the block and keep going into this chop.
And Dave, they're calling the wood 15 inches round of octo poplar. Look at the big knot there for the team of Connor Morse and Ben Cumberland. Looks like Donald Lambert has put some drivers in to get the Nate Cumberland on the backside.
Yeah, it looked like Ben Cumberland was like, I'm going to keep driving low on this one. I'm going to let the rookie bludger through that knot on that one, making short work of this. Both these teams going for the drivers here quickly.
Donald Lambert, Connor Morse trying to finish things off. They just got handed off by the Cumberland brothers. Donald's putting some chips in there, trying to drive things off on his right side. Connor Morse can't keep up, and the team of Donald Lambert and Nathan Cumberland win the first heat with a 44-4.
How did you get to pick your partner?
Well, qualifier was yesterday. You had to do the underhand chop, and based on results, you'll be matched with someone.
Right on. So you got Donald. How tough was that?
He was a good partner. He told us the game plan, and we just followed along.
Well, Cumberland and Lambert set the time to beat a 44.47. Next heat coming up. Marcel Dupree and George Williams taking on Trevor Scofield and Ryan Macintyre.
Yeah, you saw George Williams there. That is a power team with Marcel Dupree. Look at that block. Dupree slabbing it off the bat. Slab nails on it, luckily for him. Otherwise, it'd have been a disqualification.
Big slabs of the wood there indicate a nice, good, soft block there for the competitors. And George Williams is on the front side, trying to hand things off over to Marcel Dupree to start working in the backside.
Yeah, George Williams harnessing the power of the Fu Manchu, bludgering that thing right now, taking its lunch money. They've got a solid lead right now over Scofield and Macintyre.
The team of Scofield and Macintyre, because one guy is left-handed, one guy is right-handed, are working on each of their individual sides. Looks like George Williams on the block right now. He's probably got just a couple more chips to go and drive things off. And the team of Dupree and George Williams clocking with a 46.25, good enough for second place.
You guys had quite a pace. What was the strategy there?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we kind of talked about it ahead of time and thought if we can go quick and get the hits in, like we're both fairly strong guys. There's really strong guys too, but we thought maybe we could outpace them and get our rounds off quicker and get the hits in.
Right on. So it looked like the block was a little bit harder, but what happened there towards the end?
I guess I wasn't counting right and took one more hit and DQ'd us. But yeah, I was just he's a righty, I'm a lefty, and he's hollering at me driving the other way, and let's concentrate on that instead of the number of hits, I guess.
Explain the difference in drives for the people that don't understand maybe.
Yeah, so the end of the log that's dogged into the stand, if you drive towards the log won't fall off the stand. And so Trevor drives the opposite way as I do, and I had put the drivers in a certain direction, and anyway, it came down to just, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Well, the Truro Nissan team of Scofield and Macintyre were DQ'd for taking 11 strokes. I believe it was Trevor Scofield towards the end of that chop, taking 11 and taking the DQ. 44.47 is still a time to beat. Cumberland and Donald Lambert in the first heat. This last heat, Graham Green and Nick Graham taking on Mario Bourque and Berlin Nickerson.
Yeah, Berlin Nickerson, advantage to him, turning these octo logs. He's been training on this wood for a few months now. We heard him talking about it earlier. Mario Bourque, look at the cadence there, sticking with Nick Graham right now over on stand 2.
Good cadence by both pair of competitors right now. Mario Bourque takes his 10th or maybe even 11th stroke as Berlin Nickerson takes over in the front half, trying to take some chips out, put some drivers in, makes his way over to the backside, and on the other team, we got Graham Green working on their backside.
Yeah, that was not what you wanted to see over there on Berlin Nickerson's log. Giant knot in the face of that. They had to go a little bit deeper than I think they wanted to get away from that tight grain, but they've got a great chop still going nonetheless, Bill.
Still a good pace by both pair of competitors as Graham Green takes over the backside. Berlin Nickerson, an excellent pace towards the end of this chop, trying to put some drivers in. They're not going to take down the 44 seconds. They're going to drive things off in just over 51 seconds, the time of Nickerson and Bourque.
So I'm watching the wood move, and that log seemed a little dry to me. It didn't seem like the wood was moving as well.
I think, well, all these logs obviously come out of the butt log because they're big. And I know which one it was because I kept track, and that was pretty close to the butt. So it was wet, just stiff. Yeah.
So anything different, Mario, in that?
I need to learn to count better, I guess. I went over the 10, so that's why we don't get no time.
Yeah, tough break there for Nickerson and Bourque as we see Lambert and Cumberland with a 44.47 will take the butcher block.
Back here at the 3rd annual Nova Scotia Lumberjack Championships, we are headed into the endurance race. We had a number of competitors qualify for the finals here today and the semifinals. This first heat of semifinals is going to be Marcel Dupree taking on Berlin Nickerson. They got a saw through 16 inches round with a single buck saw. They got to go over and chop an underhand chop of 12 inches round and end the event with a 10-inch round standing block chop.
Yeah, Bill, they're going to have to match their precision with their adrenaline in this one. Endurance is not anything to take lightly in this. You've got to keep the pace going, keep moving the entire time. And Marcel Dupree is just flying through that single buck log over there on stand number 1.
And it looks like Marcel Dupree is going to have the lead after the single buck as they drop their single buck saws. They pick up their razor sharp 6-pound head chopping axes. Berlin Nickerson has a hard time with his balance on the footholds there as they're trying to chop their way through in the underhand chop, 12 inches round of this trembling aspen.
Yeah, it looks like Berlin got precariously close to it, footholds there. If you hit your footholds in this event, it's an instant disqualification. Dupree now over to the standing block.
And he has a substantial lead heading into the standing block, which is 10 inches round. Berlin Nickerson is on his backside right now, but clearly running out of gas. He's got nothing left in the tank. Marcel Dupree puts a couple of drivers in and makes his way over to the backside.
It is so energy demanding to host a show and compete in every event all weekend long. Tough break for Nickerson here in the endurance event, but it'll be Dupree taking the win with 1 minute, 1 second.
So Berlin, men's endurance is tough enough as it is, but when you open up to some knots, tell us how that plays in you mentally and also physically.
Yeah, exactly. I knew what I was into once I done it. I've been chopping this wood all winter long because I'm the one that prepped it. And I run into a few of those blocks when I was training on it, and it was just gnarls. And when you get into the gnarls, I knew Marcel had a good block, so once I heard him turn, I just went into cruise mode because this is elimination chopping, so there's no sense killing myself, so save myself for the next event.
Well, likely a wise decision there by Berlin to stop chopping so hard with a 2 minute and 9 second chop there. He's got a lot of events still to go. This next heat, the Battle of the Boys from Keswick Ridge, New Brunswick. Ben Cumberland taking on Nathan Cumberland.
Yeah, both these guys are absolute juggernauts in all three of these events. I have a feeling this is going to come down to nanoseconds, Bill.
Well, earlier we saw Nathan Cumberland win the single buck in record time. Right now you can see the pace a little bit slower, but right now it's a dead heat as they head over to the 12-inch round of Trembling Aspen.
Yeah, slight lead right now to older brother Ben Cumberland. They're both going for the drivers. It'll be Nathan to make the turn first, though.
Almost a mirror image, stroke for stroke. Who's going to finish off the underhand chop before we head into the standing block chop? Only 10 inches wood left to chop, and it's Ben Cumberland over there ahead of his brother Nathan.
Yeah, Ben is going to have a monstrous lead now into the standing block. Looks like Nathan kind of pigeon-toed his block there, wooded himself. It is all but cruise mode now for Ben Cumberland over there on station number 1.
He had about an 8-hit front there in that standing block chop, and Ben Cumberland, with only 6 hits in the backside, dries things off and beats out his younger brother Nathan.
So, Ben, you got your hands full with big guys in this endurance race. Do you do anything different when you're going up against these big fellas?
Yeah, just try to black out mentally and just cut it.
How'd it go for you today?
Not too bad. My underhand was messy. I think I hung up in single buck. But my standing block went well. Both axes were chopping pretty well.
Well, in the two semifinals of the endurance race, it was Ben and Marcel advancing to the final. And in the final, Ben took out Marcel, garnering 100 points in the overall standings.
And the crown pivotal point goes to Berlin Nickerson, second place underhand chop, taking valuable points from contenders like Ben Cumberland.
And here are the overall standings after 2/3 of the way through the competition here at the Nova Scotia Lumberjack Championships. It's going to be a dogfight next week with Nate Cumberland leading the way.
Yeah, and our lumberjack of the day would be Nathan Cumberland, earning a first place in both the butcher block and the underhand chop.
And many thanks to all the sponsors, including Hudson, Nickerson, and Ryan Macintyre. Come back again next week when it'll be time for Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Dickies, quality workwear since 1922. Yamaha, rev your heart.
When you're swinging a 5-pound razor blade, you want a little bit of protection between that blade and yourself. And we do that in Lumberjack Sports using chainmail. Little small ringlets of stainless steel all woven together. Slides on over your foot just like a sock. Offers a lot of protection in the standing block chop. We want a little bit of protection up the front of the leg, so we use the chainmail sock with an upper on it. A lot of the competitors will actually make this themselves, sell it around to other competitors.